We're doing the thing.
Exciting.
Hello, podcast world. This is the first episode of That's One of Our Favorites. Or one of my favorites, I should say, but it's our favorites. I am one of your hosts, Samara, and with me is the lovely Miss Emily.
Hello,
Miss Emily. You could tell that I'm definitely like around kids more than I am adults. Cause I'm like, this is Miss Emily.
It's okay. That's what the kids call me at work. They're like, Miss Emily. I'm like, it's just Emily. But thanks.
It's just Emily. Well, this is our first episode. That's very exciting. It took a lot to get here.
Yes. Technical difficulties. So we'll see how this goes.
It's okay. It's fine. Thank you. Shout out to Nicholas.
My hubby.
Shout out your boy.
When in doubt, find our hubbies who are very technically inclined, where we are not.
Yes, we lucked out immensely because we both are like, husband.
Yeah, please help me.
Anyway, that's one of my favorites, is a podcast where we're going to start reviewing movie musicals. Maybe if we can get in touch with each other, we'll go see like actual together, because currently we're in two different states, so that makes it a little bit difficult, but
yeah,
one can dream.
Funny is before we even started this podcast in college, which is where we met and we're roommates our senior year, we had a radio show, and when Samara wanted to start a podcast, she was originally, and correct me if I'm wrong, was going to do this by herself, but then was like, you know what? Why don't I ask somebody? And then she was like, I'm going to ask Emily. And I was like, heck yeah, let's do this thing.
Yeah, no, I totally had an idea that was just wrong. And now it's coming to fruition.
In case you didn't know what it was, it's watching a movie with Samara for 3 hours straight.
Right. I literally was just sitting there watching and recording myself watch, believe it was Guys and Dolls, and then just commenting and typing and just being like, what? Huh? What? And nobody wants to hear that. So
instead, what we're going to do is watch it on our own, save you guys from a 3-hour podcast, and review it together with writing notes of what we thought about the podcast or about the movie.
I feel like that we're going to have, there's going to be some controversial opinions, because part of why I wanted to start this podcast was my mom grew up on musicals and always talked to me about musicals, and I saw like the kid staples, I guess I should say. Oh, I'm a musical kid. I'm a theater kid. And it wasn't until I got into college and I realized that I was a theater adjacent kid. I ended up infiltrating the theater group at our college as a makeup stagehand type person and realized how ignorant to things I was. And so I have decided I wanted to just kind of plow through. I asked a bunch of people. I have a list. We have a huge running list of musicals that we're going to get through. And then that's where Emily comes in, because Emily used to shame me for not seeing certain things.
I grew up watching musicals with my mom, and a lot of the musicals, and actually the first musical we're watching was introduced to me by my mom. And I grew up watching it, which we'll get into what we're reviewing in a little bit. But I am not a theater kid, being as I was not on the stage much. I was in choir in high school, and we did some musicals. I say some musicals, I did two. And I was not front and center, and I will never be front and center. And quite honestly, doing a podcast right now is out of my comfort zone, but I'll do it for Samara.
Yay!
Yeah, I was swaying in the background, singing the oohs and ahs type girl, but always been infatuated with theater, watching plays, watching musicals, and like I said, I grew up watching musicals thanks to my mom. And yeah, so do you want to kind of introduce what we're gonna review today?
Yes. So again, I think we're gonna be a little controversial here because you've grown up with them and you've loved them so much. I feel like I'm gonna get a little bit of hate, but let's just dive into it. So we are starting off with, because the Easter holiday is coming up, we are starting off with the Easter Parade, or just Easter Parade, which is MGM 1948 musical, starring Fred Astaire, Judy Garland, and Ann Miller. Those were the top 3 billed. And yeah, I don't want to even say it.
She didn't like it.
It's not okay. Well, we'll get into it. We'll get into it. So the first thing I want to say off the bat, why back then did they cast Fred Astaire, who was 50 at the time, with Judy Garland, who was 26 years old?
Well, I actually have a note on that, and
yes, it might be the same note I have.
The movie was originally supposed to be cast with Gene Kelly.
Yes. It was 36.
And he was 36, and it was supposed to be a reunion, which we might need to put this on the list because I don't think it is, between him and Judy Garland of the Pirates of Penzance, which is a great musical. And I actually forced Sierra to watch it one time, and she loved it. So it's also a good
Pirates
one.
of Penzance. Is that the one with Modern Gentleman, or whatever the song is?
Maybe. Probably something that you would remember from it is like every 5 seconds, or not 5 seconds, but they say "Rococo" a lot.
Okay. Anyway, all right. So back to Gene Kelly.
Anyways, that was supposed to be like their reunion kind of musical, and he broke his ankle after playing volleyball, but got mad because he lost. So therefore he like kicked something and broke his ankle and couldn't do the musical. So
wow. And then they called Fred Astaire to come out of retirement to fill in for him.
I'm not mad about, because yes, there's an age difference, but the man can dance.
He can dance, but it was so jarring to me visually, and maybe it's just me, but for me, I was just kind of like, wait a minute.
I guess me seeing it as like a kid, you don't really notice like there's a big age difference there. No, it's just.
Yeah, and I think too, after hearing about how, Cary Grant during Charade made a big stink about the age between him and Audrey Hepburn, and then also I think, is it American in Paris? No, it's not American in Paris. What is Audrey Hepburn and Fred Astaire?
Gigi, maybe. Oh, don't quote me on that.
Funny face. We're simply tourists.
Yes.
Okay.
My mom's gonna be mad at me for not getting that, and I'm mad at myself because Audrey Hepburn's like one of my favorite people ever. Oh geez.
Seeing that age gap as well, like I just think I'm just so much more. It's just so much more noticeable to me now, having seen that and having heard that. And I think there was a James Bond that even was like, "Why are you guys still casting me? I'm 105."
Right.
So thinking about that now. The other big thing that I clung to immediately, which is again where I go into the theater adjacent, is Irene Valles. I don't know how to pronounce her last name. Valles was the costumes. The first woman you see on screen is this lady in this green dress and green hat, and I just have "lady with green hat" in all caps. Oh my word. Stunning. The costumes were so good.
One of my favorite costumes, which I have written down, is like one of the last scenes. I have always loved Judy Garland's pink and brown dress that she wears.
Mm-hmm.
Like that very last scene.
I have multiple just green hat, yellow dress, orange muumuu. Like, Irene, and I couldn't find anything on her. I was really upset. I couldn't find anything. I Googled a bunch and just couldn't find anything that came up with her. But, yeah. Irene killed it. I did not know that the Easter parade was a thing.
A real thing. Yeah.
A real thing.
Like bucket list added.
That got shut down for 2020 COVID. So that recent.
Yeah. Well, maybe they'll bring it back. I hope so.
I'm sure they probably have brought it back already.
And I saw pictures of it on there when I Googled it, and they go all out, like big hats, like you're going to the Derby style.
Yeah, and according to the Wikipedia article, it is informal and unorganized, and yet they do.
So people just show up and walk down some street in New York with pretty hats and nice.
And they're pretty hats, and I was just like, where's he going? What is going on?
Let's go.
I also think that. Honestly, I also think that because I didn't know any of the songs before I watched this, I had never heard any of the songs before. So that in my mind also is like, is this a good musical? I don't know, because I'd never heard anything of it. Mm-hmm. So I have it on the background now if you see me looking up, just because I want to, I just want to get it. So yeah, I didn't realize that was that. Also, there's something about older musicals, where the background actresses, so as he's walking through and they're all parading their hats to him at the store, they all sound like Snow White.
I feel like that's a very common thing, especially like if you think of Disney, because they started off with those like high pitch, I'm like a pristine woman, and then they kind of go into the transatlantic like accent, and then they go into like what you are used to now, like a real like I'm a Disney princess, you know.
Yeah.
But I mean, I made a note about that because it reminded me of Funny Girl, where it was like very Ziegfeld girls in like really pretty girls and like top fashion, showing you what to wear and what not to wear, and
yeah,
it gave me those vibes.
But the voices, honestly, I almost couldn't understand what they were saying because they were and I was just like, if I didn't have the lyrics on, I wouldn't know what you were saying. And then one of the girls looked like she was going to throw up when she walked in, like her face. It was the girl in the purple hat.
Like she, oh my god,
turns to do her line, and she's like, and I was like, girl, no.
She's probably like, oh my god, it's Fred Astaire. It's Fred Astaire.
It's Fred Astaire. So I guess I would too.
I'm singing in front of Fred Astaire.
Again, checkered green houndstooth 8. That's what I have as my notes. The mom
is no longer a movie musical review. It is now a costume hat review. Everyone, you heard it first. So, the checkered green hat gets an 8.
But also too, I was like, okay, he has a child. He's fighting this child for this bunny. He clearly has a child of his own. No, it is for
a woman who does not want it.
This woman who is clearly not in love with him.
Right.
At all. Also, that's the whole thing. Like, what is the point of this movie? I have that as what is the plot of this movie if I just sum it up? And you know what I thought about? It is a 1948 version of How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days.
Or not How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days, the
She's All That.
Yes, I have that in my notes where I can make a woman dance in a week.
Yes.
I can make this girl popular in a week. I'm going to take her to prom. That's exactly
that's literally what I have.
That's where they got it. This
oh my
right
gosh.
Here.
And he just realizes that she's like better way earlier in the movie.
Right.
But I literally have that. I was like, this is giving me like, you killed our love for how dare you?
You killed our love for. Oh, come on. Where is that?
But yeah, he's fighting the toddler for the bunny rabbit, and I'm just like, okay, what is his family? Like his little child.
I found it. Did the writers of 90s films take notes from this plot? I can take any girl and make her and teach her how to dance.
Honestly, I was like, okay, sir, where's Matthew McConaughey? Where are they?
Right.
Freddie Prinze Jr. is going to come out.
I was about to say Freddie Prinze Jr. is about to come out for sure.
Yeah. Also, the dog's name is Michelle. Like, let's just jump ahead.
Okay, every dog had a different name, and and used it as a accessory, first of all.
Oh,
and
yeah.
Every time the maid picked it up, cracked me up. She's like, "Who punched you in the face?" to the pug. And I don't remember what she did to the dachshund. It was like, "Come on, short hymns." That was it. I was like, these poor dogs.
Takes I know exactly which dress I'll wear with this. And I was like, ma'am, Cruella DeVille.
And then hands it over to the maid or whoever.
Essie.
And
her
was
name
like,
Essie.
Essie. Hands it over to Essie and was like, with the beige suit. Like, where are you keeping these dogs?
Right, because they're clearly in an apartment.
Because she has those, like, massive ones that you see her at the very beginning of the Easter parade where she's like...
In her Cruella DeVille attire, Irene, shout out Irene. I was like, But yeah, so we see Nadine. Also, they don't say their names. They do not introduce a single character until, honestly, like 7 minutes into the movie. Mm-hmm. Because I was like, what are your names?
You hear Dawn's name when she's like, Dawn.
Yeah, and then the professor, which is he actually a professor?
I think he calls him professor because he's in school.
Oh, see that?
He's going to law school, which I put a note in there. There's obviously a love triangle going on because
there's
Dawn
not.
loves
There's
Nadine.
Bliss. Yeah.
Well, Dawn loves Nadine. Nadine loves what professor? But what's his real name?
Robert. No.
Johnny. Nadine loves Johnny. Johnny loves
Dawn. Johnny is a good friend.
Johnny loves Hannah at one point. Hannah loves Dawn. So it's like circle.
So I'm trying to keep like a linear. All my notes are in linear, and I'm trying to stay linear. But yes, I don't understand the whole obsession with Dawn. So this whole era of movies, and particularly musicals, are so meta to me. Like, Mr. Ziegfeld called me. Mr. Ziegfeld's a real man. Mr. Ziegfeld called me, and I'm going to do a show at Ziegfeld's thing. And it's like, I'm watching a movie about a person becoming a movie star. I'm watching a movie about a person becoming... I don't
You're
get it.
watching a movie about somebody joining a show, even though she's already like a big name show star, like with the partner.
She was a star with him, and I almost wonder if Nadine wanted to break away from Dawn because she just didn't love him, but she's still kissing him. Which I was like, scandal, 1948.
I just think Miss Nadine would be the first to drown if it were to rain because her nose is up in the air and.
I'm sorry, what?
Have you never heard that?
No.
Well, your nose is pointing out it's gonna go.
No, but did you know that baby turkeys will actually drown? Like if you have baby turkeys or guineas outside and it starts to rain, you have to run and scoop them because they'll just be like, "What's that?" And it'll drown them. That's immediately what I thought of. I thought you were calling it like a turkey or something. And I was like,
I swear that's a saying. I could have been saying it wrong. But.
Oh my God, I can't wait to use that. Somebody be snooty to me, please.
You're going to be the first drowned with your nose up the hat.
Okay, I'm sorry. Nadine is snooty.
She's snooty because, and she's obviously self-centered, so she wants all of the attention. Therefore, she wants to be her own, build act for a high-name person like Ziegfeld.
Yeah, that's true.
She doesn't want to share that spotlight.
No,
one of the first nods I have, notes I have is Nadine equals witch.
Yeah,
and uses dogs as an accessory.
Right. And I don't understand. She, like, Dawn is in the room and Johnny walks in and, like, Nadine practically rips her clothes off and just offers herself on the table.
It says eyes for Johnny, not Dawn, and it literally has, like, can you see that?
No.
Heart eyes with a smiley face.
I have Nadine wants Johnny bad.
Heart eyes for Johnny, not Dawn. Johnny equals not interested.
Well, I think Johnny is a fantastic friend here because all he's trying to do is just, like, fix mom and dad's relationship. Like, all he wants is for Dawn to be happy, literally. To the point of his own, like, self-depreciation, which I'm like, first of all, if I had to choose between Johnny and Dawn, just based on looks, like, immediately Johnny. But then you get into their personality, and I'm like, still John. Like, there's no redeeming character for Dawn for me.
He can dance.
Oh my God! Well, okay, sure, I guess.
He at least he was, like, really hardcore doting upon her, like, literally tricked a kid
for bunnies.
Tricked a kid into being like, hey, you don't want this bunny. This drum set's amazing. Watch me dance and sing with it.
Yeah, I have where is sales manager? Where is mom? Like, where there's only one bunny? Like, I don't know.
I have LOL at trying to take bunny from a kid.
Oh my gosh.
He tricks the kid to like drums with a dance.
Before I knew more about Nadine, I have let Nadine live her life. She's blatantly in love with Johnny. Just let her be with Johnny.
Johnny don't want to be with Nadine.
Right, and then I was like, oh wait, never mind.
Just kidding.
Roll it back.
Yeah.
I have the quote, trouble with the women are two types of trouble. What is it? Trouble with women, their mom and their
I don't know that one.
Oh my gosh. There's two types of trouble with girls or in the world, women and their mothers. There it is.
Oh.
There's two types of trouble in the world, women and their mothers. And I was like, Sir. Also, I have the nosy waiter looks like Tony Shalhoub, which is the guy from Monk.
Kinda.
Yeah, because he's standing there. Also, like, this Jedi master bartender is just telling him, like, how to live his life. Like, he's just giving him, like, wisdom at this bar. And I was like, where can I get me one of those?
Right?
Like,
I think I wrote down the bartender's name. He's so nice. Mike, yeah. One of my notes says, we're going to change your name from Hannah Brown to Juanita because that's way better.
No.
Not.
So he meets Hannah.
Mm-hmm.
This is my other thing, too, when it comes to older musical movies or whatever. Or in general, I think maybe this is just where I have a hard time. When she starts singing in the restaurant, is this her inner monologue? Because people are responding to her. But if we were in class and you started like, this test is hard, I don't know what to, I'd be like, 911, get the net, let's go, like, lock her up. And I always wonder that because I don't feel like in modern musicals they're responding or reacting 100% to you. Like, these people are watching her give a performance, and they're also like, oh, yes, Hannah, that's correct. You are a girl from Montana. And I'm like...
I wonder if that's part of the show, because she's just not, like, randomly singing. She's a showgirl.
Right, that's bar. What I was saying.
It may be band members. I don't think I've ever noticed that, because I've just been like, Judy Garland singing, I'm gonna like zone out because I love her.
Yeah, it's like she's like,
behind
oh,
Audrey Hepburn,
Hannah
Judy
from
Garland,
Montana, and I'm like, did they also Hannah Montana?
I did not catch that.
Ooh, ooh, ooh.
Yeah, I mean, Judy Garland will always have like a special place in my heart because on which you well know Breakfast at Tiffany's is like my all-time favorite movie. But my second favorite movie ever is Wizard of Oz. So it's like Audrey Hepburn, Judy Garland. I love them both.
Those are your girls.
Yep.
So when she actually decides, I love the moment where he's like, what's his name? She's like, Don Hughes. Don Hughes!
Yeah.
Like
and she's like, I gotta pick that
up. And then she goes,
mm-hmm.
and he's a absolute jerk.
Mm-hmm.
Like, so horrible. At what point do you not leave?
He's like, you quit your job? Oh, well, crap. I guess I better go along with it, but
I better pay you what I said I pay you, but also, like, you were drunk. I don't know, man. Not immoral. It's a moral pickle. I mean, an ethical pickle.
I said it out of spite, and now I have to stick with it. Because this poor girl just quit her 15-a-week job.
Right. And then he's like bossing her, and he's like, now look at me intimately, caressingly. And I'm like, I want to throw. No. You were just
Do
so
you know
rude.
your left from your right?
Oh my God.
No.
She doesn't know her left from her right.
Well, the way she said it, like back then they did say, like, if you're left-handed, they could become a criminal, so you better force them to have their right hand. So what? I mean, that could confuse somebody.
So Daniel, my husband, he thinks, and he has like a memory of he was supposed to be left-handed, but his parents were like, no, because doing everything right-handed, like the world is a right-handed world. So they forced him to use his right hand.
Well, they used to do that a lot. They don't do that nearly as much now.
Right, and his handwriting is awful, but my favorite part of that whole thing is his brother, who's younger than him, is left-handed, and they were like,
you're fine. You can struggle.
And like now you can't read Daniel's handwriting at all. And I'm just like, okay, but yeah, they couldn't. So she doesn't know her left from her right. Poor thing.
And then tries to cut her circulation off with a rubber band by putting, like, at what point do you have to put it up like a garter? Like, why can't you just put it around your ankle?
Oh, that's because she just didn't.
She full-fledged was like, whoop.
They were staring at her. Like, they were being really creepy, both of them. Like,
she hid behind, a chalkboard.
Girl was panicked, okay? Girl was
that
panicked.
Outfit was, like, great, but
Irene,
not so much for dancing.
Irene. Shout out Irene. I'm going to say it every single time. I don't understand why there's not a page about her.
How did you feel about the next scene where he's like, are you regularly noticed by men? How she gets them to, like, notice her?
I want the quote tattooed. I have it quote, and I have, yes, queen. Do men ever turn around and look at you? I don't know. I never turn around and look at them. On my face, on my arm, tattoo it, on a t-shirt. I need it on my wall. I need it somewhere. 100%.
That is the tried and true Judy Garland sass.
Yes.
That she has in a lot of her movies.
That face, too. And he's like, baby, you got it. You got it, baby.
One of my favorite quotes was, I suppose I'm a lemon. You gotta be a peach. Well, I suppose I'm a lemon.
Yes. I love, so the first scene of them dancing together as Juanita and Hughes, the feathers are flying everywhere, and Fred is cackling.
Yeah.
His face is so, like, I watched it like 4 times.
I want to say I wrote something down, but I may not have that. Something to do with the feathers, that they were dyed a certain dye, and it kept, like, sticking to them and, like, changing their, like, skin color. So they had to put, like, Vaseline on their face, and I could be wrong. And so it was, like, sticking to them even more, but not, like, dyeing them.
Right.
So it made it even more hectic, but I feel like that was a nod to Fred Astaire and Ginger Rogers, because she used to wear, like, big feathery boas, which is his most probably well-known dance partner.
Right. I
But that was hilarious.
Cackling at the fact there's just every turn.
It made it even better because it was supposed to be a shit show.
It was so funny. Oh my gosh, I wish I know where I wrote this. I said, "Dang, Johnny getting vicious."
Dang, Johnny getting vicious.
And I'm like, why are all the women all over him? I don't remember, but like all the women were all over him. Hannah wants him. Everybody wants him.
Oh, I know why. Because he's Nadine was like, I'll wait for you, and he's like, well, I'm about to go to. I'm not quite finished with law school. Oh, that's fine. I'll wait. Oh, well, I'm going to doctor school next. That's fine. I'll wait.
I won't get my inheritance until I'm 54.
I won't get my inheritance until I'm like 50. Right. So he kept making excuse after excuse after excuse why he couldn't love her or marry her.
Right. And then he also was like, oh, Dawn, by the way, that waiter was getting so mad.
But that same waiter, when we get to it, I love him so much.
Yeah. If you want to jump down to it, the random comedy bits
of Salad
in 1948 movies, or like the golden era of Hollywood, these random comedy moments, like this was the comedic relief, and I was just like,
why? Where did this come from?
Is happening? It was so out of place.
Mix, toss.
It wasn't even like that funny. Like it was. I just don't understand. And Judy and Johnny are literally just sitting there, and they're like, ah!
Yeah, every now and then.
What's happening? And I know, I guess you had to make it a comedy, but like, comedy?
And then after all of that work, Johnny's like, no thanks.
Yeah,
and he's like, okay.
He makes himself cry, cutting the fake onion. Oh my gosh. Like,
I mean, why can't you just mix, toss, mix, toss.
Oh my gosh. Okay, but to jump back, so oh my gosh, I don't understand what I don't understand what that is. Anyway, I have the piano thing. So when he starts playing the piano, but he's pressing the pedals, and it's just playing, he's not playing it. I was like, what is that? What is that magic?
They did have self-playing, but I don't remember.
I guess I've never seen it.
It would have to have a roller on it, and then it had if you think of the
music box.
That'd be the same thing. You push the pedals, and it would make that thing rotate, and it could play by itself. I
had never seen that before, at all.
You're like, magic piano.
Magic piano. I mean, I obviously I knew there were self-playing pianos, but I guess I'd never seen one in action.
Yeah.
So when they decide that Hannah needs to be herself, I felt like
Nick's
they turned
Juanita
her into
back to Hannah Brown.
a little girl.
Do what?
It felt very little girl, very child, very Shirley Temple. Like, Juanita was this elegant woman. And yes, Judy Garland was only 26. I would love to know how old Hannah Brown was supposed to be. Because her first costume that she came out in, I was like, that is like a Shirley Temple costume. That's a baby costume. Like, why can't she be funny but also still be an elegant, sexy woman? It felt like they just made her a little girl. In my,
I didn't
all of a sudden her hair was down.
I didn't really get little girl. I just got her being herself again, because Nadine was like, stop imitating me. My friends are making fun of me. You're obviously making this girl like me. And then he's like, light bulb.
Light bulb.
We're just going to let you be yourself. No, duh. What a notion.
I was curious as to how much time was passing at this point, because there is no indication of time until they go to the next Easter parade. They started the Easter parade
within a year.
So yeah, but it takes you almost 18, you're almost done with the movie before you're like, oh, okay, it's been a year.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's a lot happening in a year too.
Yeah. You kind of get the sense when they do their first, like, show opening that it's been, like, a progression. Because they go through that list of, like, we do 4 weeks of practice, 4 weeks of this, blah, 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 blah. And then all of a sudden it's the opening. So you know it's been, like, several months.
I must have missed that part. I must have missed them giving that timeline.
It's still pretty late in the movie when they give that timeline. But they do kind of, like, brush over that quickly.
I have the green couch in Hannah's room is exactly what I have been looking for. I literally have been looking for a new couch for the past 3 months. I've been on Facebook like, and that green couch was like, yes, that's what I want.
GM Studios, hello. Do you still have that couch?
Hi, it's me. Where's Irene and where's my green couch?
Right.
But I also, so I don't understand the obsession with Dawn. Particularly when he's up against Johnny. I just don't get it. At all. At all. No. I also have, there was something that Judy was doing, and she sounded like Barbara Luddy, or Lady from Lady and the Tramp. I really was like, why? Wait a minute. Like, in my brain, I was like, is she Lady and the Tramp? Like, what happened? It was just sort of a brief moment. Again, back to I don't know why she's in love with him, especially because she knows, or she realizes that it's all to get Nadine back.
Mm-hmm.
Like, she says it out loud.
But of course she believes him when he says, no, of course not. No, it's not. Never. So it's like okay, well.
No, I don't like it. Why didn't you tell me that I was in love with you? Because it's not my job? Because it's not my job to tell, like, because you're supposed to show that you love people?
Well, he's so oblivious because he really was trying to get, like,
but
Nadine.
Even after he says that, he takes her to Ziegfeld, knowing that Nadine is opening for Ziegfeld. Yes, I know that he had raving reviews. Yes, I know that, like, their show was doing great. But he was like, oh, I'll take you to Ziegfeld.
Take you to Ziegfeld so that you can see the person I used to dance with, so that she can be jealous. Sorry, my headphones died. So.
Oh, you're good. Yeah, honestly. I don't understand that. And Essie is full of crap. Essie's like, Nadine, it's awful.
She's dressed as a man.
They're dressed as hobos or swells. Which
is still one of my favorite. Like, if I could just watch that scene of... That's one of my favorite. If I could just watch that mashup compilation of their shows over and over again, especially we're a couple of swells all over, I would, like,
it was
on
cute.
Repeat.
It was really cute. I liked it a lot.
That's when I was younger. That scene is what I would ask for. Like Judy Garland and Fred Astaire dancing like a bunch of hobos. Like, that was what I was like, that's the movie I want to watch. Don't remember what it is. And it was later on that I was like, oh, that's Easter Parade.
I love it. So he takes her to go see Nadine. First of all, let's talk about Ann Miller for 2 seconds.
Mm-hmm.
She faked a birth certificate for RKO Studios. She was barely 14. And she was discovered by Lucille Ball in a nightclub that she had faked a birth certificate to get into. To be a showgirl. First of all, that's amazing. But she is one of the fastest tap dancers, regarded as the fastest female tap dancer in the world.
Did you know that on her like big scene where they go see her, that she was wearing a back brace?
No, what?
Let me see. Let me find those notes. So I had some like random like fun facts.
Yeah.
And yeah, fun fact, I found out that Ann Miller is wearing a back brace during her big number because her husband allegedly threw her down some stairs. But she did the scene even though she was in immense pain. But you can't tell that she's she's wearing a corset. And she's very I'm properly,
I'll have to look that up again.
That was on one of the fun facts that I found. I was like, wow. But that's what it said, that she was wearing a back brace during that.
That's crazy, and that's really sad too. But that's crazy that she did.
That's what a lot of women in that time went through. The uppers and downers that they put Judy Garland on, ultimately killed her.
Yeah, that's really, not good. And everybody's like, "Oh, I want to be alive at that time," and it's like, "Do you really?
No, not really.
Do you really?
They give you pills to wake you up and give you pills to make you sleep.
Take you down. Yeah.
Uppers, downers. There's
no. So Nadine knew exactly what she was doing by "It Only Happens with You."
Yeah, it only happens when I dance with you, or something like that.
Yeah. She knew exactly what she was doing, why he got up, and then why he decided that was okay. And he tried to tell Hannah, he tried to gaslight her. He was like, "Baby, I just had to, don't you baby, you don't get to speak to me."
And that same scene happens in Singing in the Rain.
I have not seen that yet.
Well, so pin that and put that in your brain. A similar scene happens in Singing in the Rain.
And then she grows full dramatic, which made me laugh. "This dirty dog broke my heart. I'll never love again." This nasty old man who was really not nice to you and just literally was doing this for what? For his own pleasure. Did exactly what he was doing the whole time. Ma'am.
Made Nadine jealous. Made it look like you can do, even though he never really taught her anything. He let her be herself.
Right.
So therefore she was good at being Hannah Brown.
Right.
And doing the couple of swells and tap dancing, and not the ballroom dance, feather boa, eating feathers while you dance. So.
Yeah. Where did the police come from? Who called the police? Why did the police come from?
When did the police come in?
When she's standing there, he's at the side outside the door, and he's like,
yeah.
Hannah, and she's like, "Go away!" And then the police guy comes and takes him away, and I'm like,
maybe
he's going to jail.
That time they wouldn't no, he was move on, can't loiter.
They're in a hotel. What do you mean? He's move on. They're not on the street. They're in a hotel.
I honestly always chalked it up to maybe in that time there were more security in those higher end hotels where they didn't let riffraff or whatever come in and bug
that just made this whole movie made little sense, but that made little sense. Johnny is a pot stirrer because he's like, "Hannah, blah blah blah, hey Nadine, blah blah blah, hey Dawn." I was like, "Sir, never mind." He wants to be in it.
So I guess our date is canceled. No, duh, you just pushed her towards Dawn. And then, okay, I can't be alone. Hey Nadine, I'm actually available for dinner.
Right. I was like, "Sir, stop it." I didn't understand the whole she just does what men do. She just came in and was like, "We're going on a date. That's what we're doing." And he just...
I always thought that was super abrupt too. It's you're really mad at him. You won't let him in. You end up trying to let him in, but then he's gone. Because he was shushed away from random
police who are in a hotel.
But now you're popping in. It's because he thought she was gone, I guess. So she was like, well, if I'm going to keep the man I love, I better take what I want.
I guess it was she was taking charge. She was
Yeah.
She was telling him what to wear and where to go and how to walk.
Pants on, and here's your Easter bonnet. Like, I got you the hat this time, not the other way around.
With the bunny. What am I gonna do with the bunny? Hannah. You didn't give me any bunny supplies. I don't have any carrots. I don't have a cage.
Well, the same thing with the daggum dogs. They're dog for every occasion.
Nadine threw all the dogs in a crate in the back. I'm not saying it was good, but she threw them all in her spare bedroom until she needed them. And Essie had to clean. You know, Essie was losing her mind.
Who punched you in the face?
And then my last note was, nice proposal, Dawn. Wait, that was the end?
I knew you were going to have something to say about look, I found a ring. I'm going to put it on your finger. Like that. I told my mom that has always irked me. She was like, well, what else is he's supposed to do? I was like, I don't know. Kneel down.
Susie.
Yeah. Calling her out by name. Oh my gosh.
Huh?
I said, you're calling her out by name.
Susie.
Like, I don't know. Get down on one knee and be like, you know, I really have loved you for a long time and I just haven't seen it. Like, I don't know, end it better instead of like abruptly, like we're at the Easter parade and you're turning heads like I said you would, and you're gonna put her nose out of joint, like. What is that? And then credits.
Yeah, we need to come up with a rating system.
I mean, this has nostalgia, so it doesn't matter what I say. It may not make sense now to me in my 30s, but it will forever always be one of my favorites.
No, I feel that. We just need to come up with a system for real, though. But
here's an actual rating. Here's a feel-good rating. A feel-good rating, my rating would be like a 9.3 out of 10.
My feel-good rating would probably be it would be right down the middle of a 5 because I enjoyed the dancing and I enjoyed the swells, but like I'm mad at who she ended up with. I'm mad at I don't feel good about where everyone's lives ended up. And then overall I would say a 6 on my end.
That's okay. Not one of your favorites, but it's one of my favorites.
And I think there's definitely one on here that I'm like, I put it on here and Emily's going to be like, Samara. There's actually 2 that you're going to be
there's a few on there that I'm like, I don't want to watch it.
Well, we can talk about it. We can talk about it, but
yeah, but I'm not going to tell you which ones.
Yeah, overall, sure, it was fun. A couple of swells.
Put you in the Easter spirit?
They put me in something.
You don't want to go put on your Easter bonnet and walk down
I will say, yes,
random street in New York.
I do want to put on an Easter bonnet. I don't understand why we put on jeans. I am I would say somewhat of a feminist.
On Easter, I'm going to hear you singing in my Easter bonnet. It's just going to happen.
I need to go find a hat. I have a dress. I need to find a hat. Well, this was a bit of a longer episode just because we were getting our feet on the ground. Mm-hmm. And we wanted to do a little bit of an introduction. Now I sound like Moira Rose. An introduction. We wanted to do a little bit of an introduction and just talk a little bit briefly about what to expect. As we continue to keep moving and get our feet on the ground, we are probably going to, cut these down to less than an hour. But who knows? Maybe if we really like it, we will keep going. But we thank you so much for joining us.
Well, guys, thank you so much for listening and or watching our first episode of That's One of My Favorites. We are excited to be doing this together again. Love Samara like crazy. But again, thank you guys so much for watching. You can find us on YouTube at That's One of My Favorites podcast. You can also find us on Spotify. And then if you have any suggestions, questions, things that you like, things that you hate, please feel free to reach out to us at oneofmyfaves@gmail.com.
All right, friends. See you next time. Oh, what are we watching next time?
We are watching Singing in the Rain.
Singing in the
So
Rain.
if you guys want to watch along with us, we will have our notes and our ratings and our fun facts and be back with you.
Right, and again, I haven't seen it, so
I have hundreds of times. So again, it's Emily's seen it, Samara has not, but there are quite a few on our list that I have not seen.
We'll find out.
It's just a matter of, did our faces show up on the recording like we want it to?
I mean, I don't need my face. I have a face for radio.
Well, I guess I'm a lemon.
She's got a nose turned up, she'll drown, or what was it?
And now people know why this is our logo.